All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol HYLN, Hyliion Holdings Corp. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Hyliion Holdings Corp has been in a slight upward direction as we see it. It's been kind of sideways after it works itself upwards. And the volatility of the market does persist there, obviously the ups and downs, but every time it was working itself up to newer highs. It had broken through the highs that it needed a breakthrough, which was 26.88, but it didn't last for too long. It reached this high here of 27.39, and it only lasted about 2 hours before that resistance was broken, that high was reached, and it brought itself back down below the 50-day moving average, and now sitting at 24.90. I would like to see in the comments down below your guys' thoughts. Is this a slight pullback just because of the short week and the long weekend coming up? Is it probably profit taking? Maybe people, cutting their losses from previous holdings from up here, and they finally called it, quits. And instead of losing big time down here, they took less of a loss. Or anybody that got in this area was slightly taking their profits, or is it uncertainty? What are your guys' thoughts on this slight pullback here? Because it's pretty big compared to the ones that we've seen previously. And what could this mean for the stock in general? I would love to see your guys' insight and what you guys are thinking and what other investors are seeing. So it broke through the support, it broke through the 50-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average is 25.97. I'd write that down. Super important number to keep in mind. Now, our support and resistance have slightly changed, so let's get it to its new locations. And this is based off of the last couple hours of the day so that we can see what is important for tomorrow. Super important numbers to keep in mind. We are currently below the 50-day moving average, which means we're in bearish territory. And if the bulls break through this resistance, it does not signify that they've gained control. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. This doesn't mean that because the bulls broke through resistance, they're on their way back to bullish territory. That is just the beginning catalyst and the first point of reference for us as investors to be aware of where this is heading. And that's one step closer for the bulls to get back into bullish territory. So I want every single investor to keep that in mind as I speak about it. Now, our support level is significantly important, and it's the lowest point reached in this bearish run, and that's 24.51. I want to emphasize to all investors, if that gets broken through, this could be on its way to newer lows. Pulling further away from the 50-day moving average and working its way down, further away from it, deeper into bearish territory to newer support levels. Now, you do have a point of reference here, which is one of the lowest points in this slight pullback, the previous one, and before it started to run back up, which is down here at 24.14. You could see how the behavior of the stock is between those two support levels, and if the bulls are trying to reappear, if it comes down to that point. We're currently at 24.90, so the first point of reference is actually 24.51. No need to worry about any number below that, but you could use that point of reference to see how it's reacting in between. And if it breaks through both support levels, that can give you a sign that this is getting deeper into bearish territory. Let me emphasize that. Deeper into bearish territory. And if it starts to work its way down fairly quickly into those areas, this is pulling further away from the 50-day moving average and making it much more difficult for the bulls to not only reappear, but bring this back up into bullish territory. So I want every single investor to keep that in mind and pay close attention to how the stock is behaving if it breaks through this support 24.51. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bulls want, and the bulls want to break through this resistance. This resistance is super important for them to break through because it's the beginning of a catalyst to start working their way up closer to their goal. And that's 25.12. If that is broken through and turned into a support, the bulls could be on their way to bringing this up to newer highs, but they won't have control over the chart until they break through 25.97 and pull away from it in an upward direction, deeper into bullish territory. But obviously before getting there, this is the beginning point for the bulls and for all investors as an indicator to know where this is heading and how much closer is it getting to the 50-day moving average. But 25.12 needs to be broken through by the bulls, turn into a support so it can start to work its way up and take control of this slight momentum and continue it. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video, and in that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. As you see here on the graph, these circles are the dates that the pumps have happened, and I use them as examples to show you guys how much the stocks have risen and the S&P 500 index rose on those dates. And the reason why it's rising is due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. On these dates, the charts and the dates speak for themselves, as we can see it here, and I break it down into more detail in the video. But just to summarize it, on these dates, the S&P 500 rises, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up, and these individual ticker symbols are giving you back profits. These are profits, and like I always say, profits are profits. Whether it's $1 put into the market and you get back $2, you've put in an initial investment and you got back more than what you started with. That's what it's all about. And also in the video, I go into further detail showing you guys these dates and showing you how much it rose. Like, for example, this was one of the last pump dates, and the lowest point that it reached was down here at 35.11, and the highest point reached was 35.57. That's like a 40-point jump. And here we're seeing the same thing. It went down to 35.88, and it rose up to about, I'd say, let's see, this is all still in the same day. It rose up to about a total amount of 36.23. When you do the math, that's almost a 40 to 50 point jump, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with this. Now, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news, on the opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. You have to do your due diligence and research, but these charts and the dates speak for themselves. I mean, this was probably one of the largest jumps that I've seen in the last couple of pumps, and it was down here at 33.02, and it rose up to about 33.88. That was an 80-point jump. There was probably ticker symbols rising up more than $3 per share on those dates. And even on these dates, there's individual ticker symbols rising more than $3 per share. Check it out, see for yourselves, and my best advice is look for ticker symbols that may be resembling the behavior of the S&P 500 index, and you'll be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Check it out. Again, I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm just here to go ahead and share the information along with every single viewer and investor. The video should be popping up soon. If you haven't seen it already, pop up. There is the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.